tonight on Elon Local News.
Hurricane Irma leaves behind damage in Florida. How members of the Elon community are affected.
16 years later, students and first responders remember the lives lost on 9/11.
And we talk to a Burlington tattoo artist taking an unlikely stand.
All that and more.
Elon Local News starts right now.
Live from the Jane and Brian Williams studio at Elon University School of Communications, you're watching Elon Local News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Perry Eliadarani.
And I'm Jackie Pascal, filling in for Rachel Ellis tonight. We begin tonight with Hurricane Irma coverage.
Hurricane Irma has been downgraded to a tropical storm, and while Irma's path is expected to be west of Elon, the hurricane has still affected the lives of many students and alumni. Liam Collins has more.
It is the most powerful Atlantic storm in recorded history. Irma is so powerful, its impact has been felt across 3 states. Elon senior Lindsay Delory is from Cocoa Beach, Florida, the eastern portion of the state. She says although hurricanes are more common at home, she's never seen a storm quite like this one.
Seeing what happened in Houston is making it very real and reminding us that, yes, we deal with hurricanes all the time, but that doesn't mean one can't suddenly be worse than the rest.
Delory is talking about Hurricane Harvey, which barreled through the southeastern portions of Texas earlier this month before Irma could have been predicted.
The running joke right now is that Florida sent all our supplies to Texas, and so we're out of everything.
According to Elon alumna and Naples resident Kimberly Honeyball, since Florida sent so many resources to Texas after Harvey, she and her neighbors saw those effects while preparing for Irma.
People are getting really mean. Like, I witnessed a fight for probably the first time in my life, this intense, in a parking lot over gas, which I never thought I would see, or people fighting over the last case of water at the grocery store.
The National Weather Service still has Alamance County categorized as hazardous weather outlook, meaning the probability of hazardous weather is low. Liam Collins, Elon Local News.
For more about Irma, you can check out our website, elonnewsnetwork.com.
And as we mentioned earlier, Hurricane Irma has been downgraded to a tropical storm. However, while Elon is no longer directly in Irma's path, it will affect our weather this week. Our Grace Morris is outside on Citroen Plaza with more. Grace?
Well, with a high of 64 and a low of 62 today, it's definitely a little bit cooler out here. And as you can see, it's already starting to rain. Rain that's likely to continue through Tuesday. Now, let's take a look at our Phoenix 5-day forecast. Tomorrow we'll have a high of 75 and a low of 62, and we'll most likely see some thunderstorms during the day, And looking ahead to Wednesday, temperatures will be a little bit warmer with a high of 82 and a low of 63 with partly sunny skies. Thursday looks like it will be a little bit cloudy, but it'll be a little bit warmer with a high at 80 and a low of 61. And then Friday will again be partly sunny with a high of 82 and a low of 62. And finally on Saturday, it looks like we'll have cleared most of the rain for the week, but it will still be a little bit cloudy as we head into the weekend with a high of 83 and a low of 63. So this week's looking to be a little bit warmer, so fall might be a little bit farther away than you think. That's your Phoenix 5-day forecast. I'm Grace Morris. Jackie and Perry, back to you.
Thanks, Grace. I can't say I'm too excited about more of the rain and the clouds this week, but thank you for that update.
No, it's just been all rain and clouds with all the hurricane coverage, and now this week, I mean, obviously nothing by comparison, but clouds, and you just want to see the sun, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you may have seen American flags and international flags lining the paths of young commons today. Elon's Student Government Association has put out the flags to honor the lives lost on September 11th, 2001. Alex Hager has more on how members of the Elon community are remembering 9/11.
It's been 16 years since the attacks of September 11th, 2001. And now, more than a decade and a half after the tragedy, the phrase never forget takes on a whole new meaning.
Well, obviously the importance of 9/11 cannot be understated. It has defined our country in the modern age, and although it was 16 some odd years ago, it should feel and it should continue to feel like it was yesterday.
This year's college freshmen and sophomores were born from 1998 to 2000, making those students only 1 or 2 years old in 2001. Although they may not remember the day themselves, some students know the impact that 9/11 had on their communities and the world.
everyone knows exactly where they were when they found out. And I don't have that. So I am missing out on, it's just like this moment in time where everything stops, and I don't experience that. But I think just keeping the memory alive will help.
Around the country and around campus, efforts are being made to make sure that regardless of where we're from or how old we are, America never forgets.
Not only does putting all of the flags out on the lawn symbolize remembrance of the event, but it also symbolizes how America has persevered, how we've grown stronger in the aftermath of such an egregious attack. And it shows that while America was beaten that day, we've come back even stronger and even more resilient to face these threats in the future.
Alex Hager, Elon Local News.
So off campus, Alamance County Church holds an annual luncheon to honor the work of all first responders. The event is to thank them for the work they do year-round and also to remember those who lost their lives on 9/11. The room was decorated in red, white, and blue with a flag placed on the wall with the names of all emergency responders who died that day. The last line of the flag reads, "We shall never forget them," something local businesses and community members make sure to commemorate.
For the past 15 years, local restaurants have donated food and church members have volunteered as servers for police, fire, and emergency medical personnel. For Graham Chief of Police Jeff Pritchard, 9/11 reminds him of the strength and patriotism that occurred that day.
I was working the day that it happened. I was going into the office, and there was a live newscast of the actual event of the airplane. I was watching the second airplane strike the towers. For me, it just kind of brought our country together. It really showed that we as a country could work together and fight these acts of terrorism together.
A brief service was held before the lunch, which included a candle of remembrance where people shared their stories. The room was full with community members of all ages looking to thank their local emergency personnel. Director of Church Ministries at Baptist Temple Church, David Carter, says this is also a day for first responders to actually get to know each other while not on the job.
We see first responders out passing us with their sirens on. We don't realize when they pull up on a scene, the firemen are leaving or EMS is just arriving. They wave and acknowledge each other, but they're going about their duties. This is one of the few events during the year that they get to sit down and actually talk to each other instead of just passing, going to and from a scene of an accident or a crime or offering help and assistance.
9/11 remembrance ceremonies were held across the country, including New York, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C. If you see anyone walking on campus with a semicolon drawn on their wrist, they are taking part in an anti-suicide initiative. The Semicolon Project is a national movement started by the American mental health nonprofit in 2013. The punctuation mark symbolizes a person's story isn't over and represents solidarity between people dealing with mental health issues.
Sparks and Active Minds are teaming up for National Suicide Prevention Week to raise awareness about mental health disorders with a specific focus on depression and suicide. The two groups plan to use this week to promote mental health resources and pass along the message, it's okay to not be okay. Elon Jr. Stephanie Milovich says suicide is a huge problem among college students and it needs more attention.
Mental illness and suicide might not necessarily affect your personal life. You might not know someone off the top of your head who has that or has suffered from it. But I guarantee that you do know someone, whether it's that person sitting next to you in class, whether it's that family member who decided to keep it silent. I guarantee you know someone. And having that semicolon there or just talking with them, just saying, hey, how's your day going? That can mean the world to people. And that can honestly save a life.
Active Minds is also planning to relaunch their yellow wristband campaign for suicide awareness. The World Needs You Here is written on the band, and you can fill in why the world needs you here. People are encouraged to write something nice about someone else to spread messages of positivity. Active Minds plans to relaunch this campaign in the coming weeks.
The conversation about mental health disorders goes beyond just National Suicide Prevention Week. Elon's SGA took on the topic in this month's town hall discussion moderated by our own Perry Elliott-Durrani on Thursday. Students discussed the presence of mental health and illness on campus. Students met in Mosley 215 to talk about what students could do to help erase the stigma surrounding mental health disorders. SGA hosted this town hall along with Sparks and DMAX. SGA Executive Vice President Spencer Wagner says this discussion on mental health is only the beginning.
There's a lot still to do for those who have mental illnesses or those who don't have the strongest mental health. But there's still a lot that we need to do as individuals to encourage those people. There's a lot that we need to do to learn. There's a lot that we need to do to provide better resources. So I think the big takeaway would be absolutely that for people to realize that there's a lot more we can be doing.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention cites suicide as the second most common cause of death for college-age students. If you or someone you know is coping with a mental health disorder, Counseling Services offers resources from therapy to referrals and tips to help. For more information, contact Counseling Services at 336-278-7280. And coming up, how one local tattoo artist is taking a stand with his talent for tattooing.
And we talked to an Elon student taking an untraditional path towards a degree.
Elon local news.
Just a few miles off campus, tattoo artist Jordan Goldston is taking a stand with what he draws and what he doesn't. Our Paula Blanc has the story.
Press play on one of Jordan Goldston's skateboarding videos, and you'll see a 28-year-old covered in tattoos. When he's not landing a kickflip, he's working at his day job at Inferno Ink in Burlington, either giving ink or getting it.
Do you ever just go into a day, you wake up and you don't think you're going to get one, and then you end the day and you have one?
That's happened. Goldston's love of tattoos started as a childhood passion for art. He used these skills to give tattooing a try.
The initial shop I worked at opened in my hometown. It didn't last very long.
The shop was in Siler City, North Carolina, population just over 8,000. So when Goldston goes home, he stands out.
I'm like the most tattooed person walking around. So, I mean, I know people look and stare and think what they think all the time anyway, so I don't let it bother me.
Goldston's inked appearance turns less heads in Burlington. But with a new city came new challenges he hadn't anticipated. Goldston had inked an Aryan race tattoo, a symbol of white supremacy.
I didn't think anything of it, and yeah, it was a straight up just gang tattoo.
And then when your coworker pointed it out, just pit in your stomach?
Yeah, because I knew there was not much I could do.
A mistake he hasn't made since.
The guy seemed sketchy about the design, which has happened since then, you know, then I'll pretty much tell him I can't do it. I'll make some excuse.
You're the gatekeeper.
Exactly. You know what I mean? If you want the ink from my machine, then it's my say-so.
Goldston refuses to tattoo gang-related signs and symbols. Other shops in Burlington, he says, don't share his values.
What do you say to someone that says it's just ink in their arm?
I don't know, man. That's the same person that says, well, their money spends the same, you know, it's the same mentality, you know. I don't really have much to say to a person like that because those aren't really the kind of artists that I want to, you know. I don't see those people as tattoo artists. I see them as just tattooists.
Inferno Ink is actually one of 5 tattoo parlors in Burlington.
Elon's Center for Race, Ethnicity, Diversity, and Education, or CREED, says they're going to be changing how they approach diversity training. CREED has historically offered a host of workshops and trainings at the request of campus groups, all with the same structure. The new Associate Dean of Students and Director of CREED, Tyrone Jean, says the CREED will expand this program and now include a customized training to better fit particular groups' needs. Jean says he hopes this will help CREED address students and groups they may have missed before.
When folks have issues going on with, you know, maybe in the classroom or student organizations having some concerns, they would come and consult with one of our staff members first. And through that consultation exchange, they'll be able to sort of develop a best plan of action moving forward.
Jean says any campus group looking for specific diversity training should drop by the CREED's office in Mosley 221.
Elon has one of the highest graduation rates in the country. Our Jasmine Hager talked to one student whose Elon journey goes beyond 4 years.
A single mother by day, a college student by night, super senior Jerlene Harris is living a double life. By pursuing her 3rd degree in human service studies, she is proving to her son with special needs that anything is possible.
I would go home in tears because I didn't want to let my son down. I didn't want him feeling that, you know, mommy gave up.
Harris chose Elon instead of other local schools simply out of convenience.
I thought maybe, just maybe, the school would be more welcoming of a a more experienced adult learner and their perspective. But I'm starting to find out that's not really the case.
Harris is passionate about working with kids with special needs and volunteers at the Kernoodle Center in Mosley. Through this experience, she has connected with classmates and professors that she couldn't find in the classroom. Professor Sandra Reed works in the Human Service Studies Department and is one of the professors that has made an impact on Harris's Elon experience.
I try to make sure that voice gets heard, and will probably try to expound on the things that they may be bringing up that more traditional students would not be accustomed to hearing.
After graduation, Harris looks forward to working with kids with special needs and spending more time with her son, Tayshawn. Jasmine Hager, Elon Local News.
And you can check out this week's edition of The Pendulum for more about Harris's experience, along with other non-traditional students on campus.
Coming up, it was a great week for Phoenix sports. I'll be back after the break.
There's a lot of cool clubs on campus you may have missed at the org fair, so we found some of those more unique ones for you.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Elon Jr. Shay Friedman is the campus ambassador for What's in Your Box. It's a new organization this year with one goal: to start a conversation about women's sexual health. Every month, subscribers receive a box in the mail filled with products for women's sexual health and well-being. A subscription is $18 a month.
Today, the annual Phoenix Cup Energy Competition begins, and while it may sound like something sports related, it's actually all about the environment. The Phoenix Cup is a 3-week competition with the goal of reducing the university's ecological footprint.
The competition takes place both in the fall and spring, with the fall one focusing on energy reduction. All students, faculty, and staff are encouraged to participate by completing a brief weekly survey about their energy consumption habits. Participants can compete for prizes like Eno hammocks, solar chargers, and gift cards.
And it was a big week for Phoenix athletics. Our Miles Garrett, he's in the studio with more. Miles?
Thanks, Barry. Well, the Phoenix wrapped up an impressive all-around week for a few of its teams, with some of them already looking to be in midseason form before conference play opens up. A huge win came Saturday afternoon in South Carolina, where Kurt Signetti and the Elon football team got their first win of the season, halting an 8-game losing streak that dated back to last year. In a thrilling 34-31 victory over Furman, freshman Davis Cheek seemingly all but assured the position as starting quarterback after throwing for 301 yards and 3 touchdowns. In the closing seconds, freshman kicker Owen Johnson nailed a 36-yard field goal that sealed the game for good. Fans also got to see a home win over rival High Point last Friday at Rudd Field. The Phoenix came out with a dominant second-half run that included goals from Elijah Agu and Jaden Fortune. Junior Amir Burkane also scored his first goal of the season in the 41st minute. The rivalry game brought out a huge group of fans and students, so I wanted to see for myself what goes into all the hype surrounding soccer games at Elon.
When fall sports season arrives, most college fans in the Southeast have their mind on football. At Elon, the fans have their minds on a different kind of football.
Go Red Soccer!
Soccer season is in full swing at Rudd Field, and fans are excited to watch the Phoenix back on the pitch.
I like coming to soccer games because it's fun and you can exercise while doing it.
Kids, students, parents, yep, even dogs, like coming to the game simply for the unique atmosphere.
The whole crowd gets into it. Like you hear like the oohs and the ahs, which is really fun because it gets the crowd involved.
Now, part of the excitement of some of the fans coming to these games is the arrival of new men's soccer coach Mark Reeves, or Revo as he likes to be called, and he's taken notice to some of the fans at the games.
Really is an incredible atmosphere. We've played at home twice already, got 2 good crowds, and we bring in, even more exciting teams in NC State and Wake Forest. Hopefully we're competing hard on the field, and the crowd can get behind us knowing that we're giving our best effort every game.
Under Revo, the Phoenix has started its season 3-0-1. And senior forward Elijah Agu hopes their supporters at home will keep up the momentum.
The crowd behind us allows us to, it just gives us that extra push, and it's great to have all of them here, and we couldn't do it without them.
Really looking forward to keep an eye on the soccer team, undefeated so far, 4 games into the season. Women's volleyball won the Phoenix Classic Saturday afternoon, taking one 3-0 decision against Norfolk State. and 1-3-1 decision against North Carolina Central. Senior captain Sydney Busa eclipsed 1,000 career kills, and tournament MVP Cam Terry would also finish with 4 kills and 2 aces as the team rolled to its 5th straight win. Looking ahead to this week, fans will be able to catch a glimpse of the football team for the first time when Kurt Signetti makes his road stadium debut Saturday at 6 against Charleston Southern. Volleyball will be back in action this Friday against Navy and again Saturday morning against UNCG, looking to continue its own hot streak. That's all for sports. I'm Miles Garrett.
Coming up, one of our senior reporters checks out the org fair, looking to pick up a new skill. What did she find? Find out after the break.
You're watching Elon Local News.
Something to look out for this week, tickets for Fall Convocation go on sale. David Cameron, who is Britain's former Prime Minister, is the guest speaker this year. Tickets for students, faculty, and staff will be available this Friday, while the general public can purchase tickets on Monday. Fall Convocation will be on October 5th at 3:30 p.m. in Alumni Gym.
The annual organization fair was this Friday, and Caroline Hartshorn was there looking for some of the more unique clubs on campus. Take a look.
It's the Elon tradition that is the start to your extracurricular experience at Elon, the org fair, or should I say the overcommitment fair. You might be signing up for the more familiar organizations on campus like sports, academic, or service ones, but there are some clubs on campus you wouldn't expect to see on Young Commons, like Ballroom Dancing Club, an organization where you can break a sweat and learn to dance.
I just fell in love with it and the people, and it's just truly been a wonderful community and team to be a part of.
No previous talent required. If you want to feel more zen, join the Iron Tree Blooming Club.
A lot of the breathing techniques can be applicable to anything really outside of meditation, so I think the impact of it can be really big.
Or become one with nature and join the Sierra Club.
Hey, we got chips and
If for nothing else, go for the snacks. Maybe the Fishing Club is more your style. Do you eat the fish after?
We do not. Yeah, catch and release only. We love fish.
Test your knowledge by joining the Quiz Bowl Club and compete with schools around the country.
What is the only U.S. state that ends in 3 vowels? Hawaii. What is the first animal listed in the English dictionary?
Aardvark.
Yes, 100% aardvark.
No matter how you identify, you're welcome to join the Art of Makeup Club.
I want to be able to include everybody because if you have a passion for something, you should be able to express it no matter what.
Trust me, they know what they're talking about. My final stop was at the Circus Club.
We are a circus club, not just a juggling club. We're really interested in teaching circus tricks and skills and performing them.
And it might just be the next club I sign up for. Or maybe not. Caroline Hartshorn, Elon Local News.
It's not too late to join any of these clubs or others you saw at the org fair. Check out Phoenix Connect for many of Elon's clubs and organizations, as well as the contact information for their leaders.
I definitely missed a lot of these clubs. I don't know if they just popped up over the past year or so. I missed organization fair this year.
Yeah.
I left it in the trusting hands of you guys, but I was sad that I missed it. It was my last year.
Oh, it was a blast. Apparently, you could have gotten free makeup or tried to juggle.
Yeah.
We were standing by the ENN booth, and it was just wild to see like all the freshmen coming in and so excited to join things.
Yep, that was us 3 years ago.
It's making me sad.
We're happy to be here now, right?
That's right.
All right, well, that's all we have for you tonight.
For all the news you need to know when we're off the air, you can check out our website at elonnewsnetwork.com.
You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Elon News Network.
From all of us here at Elon Local News, have a great night.